Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy. I am so excited to do this video. I, in fact, have been waiting 18 months to do this video. Well, obviously, clearly, we're going to do a deep dive on the Kamala Harris and the Joe Biden ticket for the Democratic Party for the 2020 election. It's amazing. This prediction, I made it literally February of 2019, and I am delighted for the people of the United States that I was right. I really am. So the video that you are going to see on Friday was actually recorded on Tuesday, and it's entitled Trump and His Party. It's actually a pretty good video. It talks about what's going on behind the scenes with the Republicans, etc. But today is the day for dancing in the street and celebrating, because the Biden-Harris ticket is going to be incredibly powerful. And that is exactly what is needed at this point in time. So please join me as we take a look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and see what things are looking like for them. Come on down. I have a really big question. Let's go. Okay, so Biden, Harris, team. Biden, Harris, team. Biden, Harris, team. Oh, by the way, for those of you who follow these things, I am actually recording this on Wednesday, literally within a half an hour of the announcement. I'm sorry, Tuesday, the 11th. You are going to be seeing this video on August 12th. Okay, so hold on, I gotta move you back. Create some space for these cards. Okay, so this particular combination, what it has, first of all, it's going to create a change of fortune for the existing administration. What it does is it creates a sense of stability, a sense of security, a sense that this is a combination who is going to be so strong for the American people, all American people, that there is going to be a growing sense of confidence and comfort from the fact that they really are going to be able to stop a lot of the out of country intrusiveness, that there are going to be things that are going to be put in place to allow for what has happened literally over the last 3 years, all of the norms that were shattered, all of the guardrails, there's going to be some real tightening up of some of the loopholes or the spaces that no one really ever expected somebody would crash through. The decision is going to, in many ways, make it really easy for some people who were sort of vacillating to now cement their support behind this team. So a couple of things you're going to see, sort of, I want to say almost in the immediate future. Watch out for a real uptick in Russian interference. That is because now they have a target, okay? And there's going to be a real push. So there's going to be a lot of misinformation. There's going to be a lot of wackadoodle stories that just don't make any sense. And come on, use your common sense. Read it and say, like, this is crash. This doesn't make any sense. And don't give it any energy. Stay focused on the win that is coming. So anticipate, this is not going to be a pleasant or friendly run up to the election. It is going to be brutal. Okay, it's just going to get nasty. And on the upside, it's not going to actually be Joe and Kamala Kamala. I swear, by the time that election rolls around, I am going to get her name down. They're not going to be the ones who are rolling kind of, I don't want to say in the mud. What I want to say is they're not going to be the ones who are going to be directly taking on Trump. That's going to be left to all of those anti-Trump Republican groups that are really getting more and more vocal about what's going on in the Trump administration. So, and as the days go by and the polls shoot up, and I'm predicting right now that by time the polls come out talking about, do you like this combination? Do you feel, this is going to be a good combination? Trump, those numbers are going to increase under sort of a Biden ticket, and Trump's are going to decrease. And that is going to, again, put him in that place where he's really scared that he's going to be left out in the cold, which of course he will be, because he has no business being where he is anyways. So this is going to be a nice, solid team going forward. And like I said, there's going to be some ugly between now and November, but I really don't feel like the ugly is actually going to be coming from the Biden-Harris ticket. It's going to be coming from around them, kind of, if you will. First of all, there's going to be a great deal of celebration among the Black community, the people of color community, because this was a very, very long time coming, and it's arrived. And so you're going to see slowly perceptions starting to change. There's going to be a sort of, some of the really entrenched attitudes are going to start shifting, but make no mistake, some of those really right wing attitudes are going to become even more vocal, even more entrenched. And so you're needing to be very watchful about kind of the stuff that is coming through your, computer feeds, etc. This is going to be something that really will allow not only for the healing to sort of begin, and please remember, I've said this a lot of times, and I know I'm not alone, even when they are elected, it's not like the United States is just going to snap a finger and everything's going to go back. It's not. There is a long road ahead and a lot of recovery that needs to take place, but you have your starting point now. The experience over the last 3.5 years has really caused people to take a good hard look, not only at their thinking and their perceptions and their views about politics, but also about the United States is perceived around the world. It's sort of been a 3.5, 4 year period, honestly, of kind of some internal dialoguing and some soul searching to actually figure out if the image that was being presented is in fact the image that the actual people are comfortable with. And there's going to be some shifts and changes about that, okay? And there's, what I want to say, almost like what was acceptable 4, 5, 6 years ago in terms of US attitudes, just globally speaking, there's going to be a little bit of a shift of that, because frankly, the United States has sort of been brought down to its knees. And so it's going to take a while for that reputation and that trust to sort of start increasing, and not to mention the fact that you've got a lot of interference going on with Russia. So, but it will start, the healing will start. Things are going to be put into place, which is going to allow a lot of this stuff to be corrected. Energetically, I can tell you that it really does feel like literally moments after the inauguration, that ceremony that swears him in, you are going to see him course correcting stuff that can sort of easily, if you will, be course corrected. Like he will get you guys back into the Paris Accord. Things like that that can just be reversed. He's going to do that very, very quickly. They're going to hop right on a Medicare system. They're going to strengthen that and sort of restore it and then build it out and make it bigger and better and stronger. The pandemic, again, has caused people to have a real good look at the things that in their country, in your country, that were sort of acceptable, or people didn't think it was fair or right, but it just sort of was the way it always was. A lot of that stuff is going to be changing and shifting. And so all of that is really exciting news. With Kamala, you are going to have a vice president with a very strong, legal background. Baked into her DNA is this real respect for the law. And for those of you who have been watching me for a while, you know that the Ace of Swords has represented Joe Biden to me, and the Queen of Swords was always the vice president. And it's not surprising because swords represent sort of the legalities, that kind of area. It doesn't surprise me at all that that was the card that ended up sort of representing her. So there's going to be, I want to say almost some clarity about some of the things that are going to be corrected and moved forward, because she has experience and, the wisdom and the hindsight to be able to look at things. And I'm telling you right now, you guys are going to have a really, really powerful attorney general and a really powerful Secretary of State. And I'm sure the other ones are going to be equally powerful. And it's like those two areas are the ones that honestly were so trashed by Trump. And those are the ones that are really, really going to undergo a real overhaul and not only sort of fix the damage. And it starts with the day in and day out people who are working there and doing their best and representing their country and trying to keep it safe. They're going to be able to start feeling like, their positions are going to be strengthened. Like it's kind of going to go back to a place where they weren't kind of the deep state and they weren't the ones who were trying to destroy Trump. But it's more than that. It's going to be expanded. There's going to be a strengthening, not only of how they feel about their country and the work they do, but as the Secretary of State positions and the U.S. Attorney General positions really come together, you're going to see that that is, in fact, going to go a fairly long way to sort of help stabilizing or to stabilize the reputation of the United States kind of going forward, to kind of get it moving towards being back on track. A great deal of happiness, a great deal of security. The Ace of Cups sitting here with the Nine of Cups is really talking about the ability for the American people to take a deep breath and sort of get back to a place where every single day did not feel like a looming disaster, where every single day did not feel like it was completely out of control. So not only is there going to be happiness with this team, but there's going to really, people are still going to be able to step back and take a deep breath. They're going to remember that you cannot now move away from politics and say, okay, job's done. We got him out of the office. I don't need to pay attention to this for another 4 years or 2 years until the midterms. That's not how it's going to work. You need to stay engaged. But it won't be with a sense of exhaustion and even maybe desperation. It is going to be with that nice positive energy of this is right, we're moving forward, and we the people actually have a really strong voice in what this country is going to evolve into next. So very, very exciting. Now, I know that there's been sort of a lot of talk about Joe Biden and his health and et cetera. 18 months ago, I said he would be a one-term president by his choice, and that the vice president would be in the perfect position to move right into the presidency with the next election and become not only the first woman president in the United States, but excuse me, sorry, but the first female president of color. It's a little ways off, but that was my prediction then, and I don't see anything that tells me that's going to change, but it's a ways away. So this internalizing that is going on, this sort of re-examining, is really going to come to fruition, if you will, under this particular team. They are going to be able to and want to and feel they need to listen to the people. And, not everybody loves Biden and not everybody loves Harris, but my God, they are so much better and stronger than the Trump Pence ticket. And I don't even know at this point if Pence might get booted because Trump is a last ditch attempt, is going to try to drag in some female to be his vice president running mate so that, he feels like, he's, and I don't know who, honestly, I can't tell you who would actually accept that position if it was offered, because the way Trump and frankly the Republicans feel about women, I don't know that I would want to take that position where almost from the get-go I was going to be expected to be diminished and quiet and sort of play a subservient role to Donald Trump's I'm the man antics. So you've got, now I want to tell you, this isn't going to be, it's not a foregone conclusion, okay? There's going to be work that needs to be done, but it very much feels like the work is going to be done comes from a place internally. I'm talking about the volunteers. I'm talking about people who are really going to get out there and start, beating the drums for this team. It feels right. And as it moves closer and closer, it's going to feel more and more right to more and more people. And there's going to be a sense that, again, it very much feels like those things that were destroyed or broken are really going to, there's going to be able to be a course correction come January 2021. The devil is being put in his place. The crazy, immature behavior, the immature emotions, the ridiculous reactions, that's going to come to a stop because he's not going to be in office. And that in and of itself is really going to create a much better energy, frankly, for the whole country. Okay? So they're going to bring him down. They're just going to bring him down. And honestly, when this thing starts to crumble on Trump, and I'm talking about his campaign now, it's going to really start deteriorating rapidly. I mean, he is attacking people that he should not be attacking. And that every time he does something like that, every time he's sexist, racist, homophobic, all of it, every time he behaves that way that we have all watched him behave for 3.5 years, it's going to move him farther and farther and farther away from being able to win an election. He's going to turn more people off between now and November than you can even imagine. Now, I'm not saying that those real staunch Republicans are going to start singing a different tune, but there's going to be a strengthening of that particular the Biden-Harris team going forward, because they're charged with doing what the American people want done. They want this guy removed from office and they want him brought down. And again, I don't think that the U.S. Attorney General's office is actually going to put a lot of force, I could be wrong, but at this point, a lot of force going after Trump. Where that death by 1,000 cuts sort of energy is going to come from is from the state attorney generals, because they are the ones who are really very, very sort of independent. And of course, under a new administration, they will be able to go back to having that sort of independence and autonomy. Wow. Oh my, look at that. These three came out just virtually almost in a row. So their job, the job of this team, is to bring him down and to stop what is going on now and bring change. They're going to end what is so they can welcome the new. The time for the delusion and the crazy is coming to an end. And this card is actually telling me two things. It's telling me that it really doesn't matter what Trump and his team do. It's not going to hold. It's not going to stick. And more importantly, the Biden-Harris team going forward is going to have a fair bit of strength. And it's like some ways they're almost going to be able to like work their magic. So again, expect that there is going to be some people who aren't happy. I think I have viewers who don't love Kamala, okay? But again, compare what the alternative is. And really, really, everybody's going to get on board. And with this pick, it honestly feels like that blue tsunami is taken a step closer to being realized. So that is like exciting, exciting, fabulous news. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be good for the states, and they're going to be good sort of globally, right? They're going to have the ability to kind of bring, just sort of bring the country back to a place not only within the borders of the country, to a place where there is going to be some stabilization. But beyond that, even globally, there's going to be, literally a sigh of relief by countries all over the globe, except, of course, for Russia and, some of those other real dictatorship or authoritarian countries. Although it is, of course, interesting that China, which is quite an authoritarian country, is working very, very hard to bring down Trump. Because frankly, they're done with him. They're just done with him and his nonsense and his energy and the crazy. So I want to take a look at what Inauguration Day looks like. What's going on? And even though right now it feels like there's going to be a lot of interference and a lot of destabilization of the voting process, and there will be, but I just can't help but feeling that it's really not going to be quite as extensive or intense as it could be. Some of the more blatant stuff is really going to get stopped. I guess that's the way I want to say it, just stopped. So let's take a look at the inauguration. And honestly, I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's January 21st or 22nd, 2021. I'm not sure. So, come on in. And of course, this inauguration is also going to be very, very, very different than previous inaugurations simply because of the coronavirus. Things that are just have always been standard are not going to be able to be facilitated in the way that is typical. So, Inauguration Day 2021, Inauguration Day 2021, Inauguration Day 2021. Well, okay, so I don't even think Trump's going to be there. I think he is going to have walked away already. I really, really do. He does not have the intellectual or mental or emotional capacity to hand over the reins of power. I'm not sure. I don't kind of think at this point anyways that he's going to be, frog marched out of the White House, although I know a lot of you would love to see that, frankly, me included. But because I don't think he's going to be there. I think he's going to have tried to escape the White House. The defeat is going to be so humiliating for him that once he realizes that he's lost and that he really can't get his base whipped up enough to do sort of any significant or serious interference. And again, there's going to be protests, there's going to be people on the streets, but it's really not going to amount to a whole lot. Is the energy that I get. He's going to just want to leave. He's just going to want to leave because he can't stand how that makes him look and feel. So with the inauguration, here comes finally your true change of fortune. Good luck comes back to the country. There's a stabilization. There are new ideas. There's new creativity. In some ways, the Biden-Harris combination is really a lovely, lovely balance because you have traditional ideas and views with Biden, but you have a more modern, a more high energy with Harris. And so it's the perfect blend where you have kind of almost like the best of the new and the best of the old coming together and working together. And that is going to propel things forward in a really, really significant way. Because I'm telling you, by the time you guys get to January, your country is going to be brought to its knees. It's just going to be so battered because there's going to be like the next 3 months of crazy going on with Trump. Then there's going to be those 2.5 months or whatever it is, where Trump is going to be doing everything he can to destroy whatever is left standing. And the coronavirus is just going to keep on spinning and spiraling because not a whole lot, honestly, is going to be done to bring this thing under control. So it's going to be very important, as I just said with the other cards, come inauguration day, there's going to be a jump on it. Let's get moving. Let's get going. Here is the agenda. How much stuff can we tick off in the first 100 days? More importantly, what can we start rolling in the first 10 days? All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Trump is just going to feel as if his strength, his, his image, his ideas about himself are literally being taken away. The Four of Cups indicates that he's not going to be very happy about accepting the election results. He's going to try a few things, but I honestly don't see it coming to a whole lot of anything. And part of the reason for that is certainly right now, energetically, it really, really does feel like this is a tsunami. And any Republicans who were kind of thinking, okay, we can coast, we can, they're also, as the next weeks and unfold, you're really, really going to see the strength of the Biden-Harris team, and they don't have anything in their back pocket that compares. I mean, especially not with Trump going after the really, really high-rolling donors who are leaving him because they finally, I guess, realize that he's an absolute, snake oil salesman. And they realize that honestly, he's going to bring them down too, because he's manipulating stuff to such a point that he literally could throw the entire country into like a crazy depression. So they're not all that thrilled to be around him either. The exposure is going to be for Trump devastating, but the illumination and the brightness and the happiness and the hope are going to be very, very powerful for the American people. the election of these two people are really going to bring about some, honestly, some kind of cool firsts, some really neat legacies. To the best of my understanding, there has never been a spouse of a president who was a doctor. That's going to be very cool, you guys, right? You're going to be introducing them as President and Dr. Biden. That's cool. That's really awesome. You're also going to have um, a male spouse of the vice president, which again is not something your country has, of course, ever experienced. So there, and of course, we're not even going down the, woman of color, that kind of thing. Those are all going to be kind of traditional things that honestly are going to get smashed, and it's about time for them to get smashed and bring in the illumination, the hope, the happiness. He's gone. He's done. Him and his crazy, I'm talking Trump, him and his crazy are, I honestly, at this point, based on the energy and the cards, I'm going to say he's not even going to be near the White House for Inauguration Day. He's going to be acting out and childish and having temper tantrums, but frankly, not a whole lot of people are going to be paying attention to him. Justice is coming, people. Justice is coming. Congratulations on having a really amazing ticket for the 2020 election. That is so exciting. I am so thrilled for you guys. And privately, I'm a little excited that I called it all that time ago. So, Friday's video, as I said, was originally set for Wednesday, so don't be thrown off by the dates and stuff. But this one is absolutely being released tomorrow morning because it's just too exciting not to. Until next time, take care, be well. I'll see you really soon. Bye.